Never rush life. That's what my grandfather told me the first time he took me to the river. I thought it was strange. Everyone says to work fast, achieve fast, hurry through life. But my grandfather just smiled and said, patience makes the small things grow into greatness. Let me tell you his story. In a quiet village, surrounded by hills and fields, lived an old man. People called him slow, even lazy. He walked slowly, spoke slowly, and when he worked, he seemed careful, never urgent. Each day, he would sit near the river, watch the water move, and think. He had dreams. He dreamed of building a small garden, of having a market stall, of feeding his family without worry. But he never rushed. People laughed. Why just sit there and do nothing? They'd say. His wife, who worked tirelessly at home, worried. Every night she would ask, when will you start, my husband? We are hungry. Life is hard. The old man would nod quietly and reply, soon, my dear, soon I will begin. Patience teaches better than haste. Days, weeks, and months passed. Life was still hard. One day, his youngest child asked softly, Father, will we ever have enough food? The old man looked at his child, his eyes heavy but calm. He took a deep breath and said, we will. We just need to learn how to grow, slowly, one step at a time. That evening, he sat by the river, longer than usual. He watched the water flowing steadily, never panicking, carrying small leaves and sticks along its way. Everything grows in its own time, he whispered. The next morning, he went to the village and bought a handful of tiny seeds. He planted them along the riverbank, marking each spot. People passing by laughed again. Why waste money on seeds? Nothing will come of it. The old man only smiled. He turned to his children and said, these are small beginnings. Watch and learn. Days passed. He and the children watered the seeds carefully every morning. Slowly, little sprouts appeared. They were fragile, bending in the wind. Some even dried out in the sun. But the old man never complained. You see, he told them, not every seed grows, but every seed has potential. Some take longer, but if you care for them and act, growth comes. Months later, the garden began to flourish. Carrots, beans, tomatoes, and peppers appeared. It wasn't much, but it was enough to fill their plates and sell a little at the market. One day, the old man decided to expand. He bought a small, thin chicken. The children laughed. It will never lay eggs, they said. But the old man just chuckled. He built a little pen and fed the chicken carefully. He counted each egg it laid, marking it in a small notebook. Weeks passed, then months. The chicken grew strong, and eggs came regularly. The children learned that effort and patience create results. Soon, neighbors noticed. They came to buy vegetables and ask for eggs. Slowly, the family began to have enough. They learned that action paired with patience beats just saving or dreaming alone. The villagers were amazed. How did a man who does so little suddenly have so much? They whispered. The old man smiled quietly. I did not rush. I acted carefully, watched closely, and learned from my mistakes. Patience builds what haste destroys. The children learned an even greater lesson. Not every plan works immediately. Sometimes the roof leaks or a chicken dies. But patience and consistent effort create security over time. Years passed. The garden grew larger. The small pen was now full of chickens. The family's food was secure. One evening, the youngest child asked, Grandpa, why did you never rush? The old man looked at the child and said softly, because rushing breaks what could be built with care. Steady action, patience, and learning from mistakes that never fails. A small seed cared for becomes a tree. A small effort repeated becomes a fortune. The river teaches this. Life teaches this. From that day on, the child remembered the lesson. Nothing worthwhile comes instantly. Dreams, relationships, and success all grow slowly. They require patience, care, and love. The old man always said, "Do not just save your efforts. Make them grow. Do not just dream. Act. Do not just wait. Build." And this is the greatest lesson he taught. Dreams without action are empty. Patience without action is meaningless. Action without care is wasted. But small actions, repeated and patiently nurtured, create life-changing results. The family prospered quietly, and the villagers slowly learned to observe and act with care. The children, now grown, carried the lesson forward. They worked, they acted, they nurtured. They remembered the river, the garden, and their grandfather's soft voice telling them, "Grow what you can, care for it daily, and the future will take care of itself." If you learned something from this story, write it in the comment section. Please like and subscribe for more moral stories like this. Thanks for watching.